Ain't no half stepping. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. I want to go ahead and just say something real quick about the song that I'm playing right now. Playing a little BDP. And I think if you grew up, you were born in the 70s, that means you probably grew up. And I'm not going to cut it off. I'm going to let it play because I'm trying to piss somebody off in the room right quick. If you grew up, don't say nothing, I'll cut your mic off.
Cut me off!
If you grew up in the 80s and you don't like Boogie Down Productions, it's kind of a you thing.
Yes.
Nari, would you agree?
I agree.
All right, I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and cut it off now. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. We're gonna go ahead and do an abbreviated what the hell. We're gonna spend about 10 minutes going through a couple of quick hits. I'm gonna go around the room on a couple of stories. We're not gonna take a lot of time on stuff, so just follow with me, folks. Just kind of get your point in real quick, and then we're gonna move on to something else. The first thing I want to get into is a story that kind of grabbed my heart. First thing, Mama said, knock you out. Somebody broke into LL Cool J's house and he bust that ass, y'all.
Yeah.
He had a burglar, Big Roo. I'm going to start with you. Burglar broke into his house in the middle of the night, 2 o'clock in the morning. He goes downstairs. He sees the dude. Not only does he bust that ass, he breaks his jaw, puts him in the hospital. Now that dude's facing 40 years in jail. Big Roo, thoughts?
He broke into LL Cool J's house. He deserved what he got.
Colin Banks?
Hey, man, you break into my house, you better be ready to fight. That's all I got to say.
Man,
stop cutting my mic off, Ruben.
Banks,
stop cutting my mic off.
Ain't nobody, Banks.
Man, look, you got one more time. You break into my house, you better be ready to fight. That's all I got to say.
Nari?
I agree with everybody. I think he broke in. You got to face the repercussion.
You break into somebody's house, you get your ass kicked. It is what it is.
Yes.
It
Agreed
is,
all around.
It is what it is. Next thing I want to get into is the LeBron James sneaker controversy. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but Nike is looking to put out the new LeBron James sneaker that is potentially going to run out at about $300. I'm going to start with you on this, Nari. You played ball, you played professionally, you played amateur. I'm guessing you guys got sneakers from people before. I'm asking you now kind of as a civilian is probably not the right word, but I'll use that word.
A regular old girl.
You know folks who have children who are going to be asking for these $300 sneakers. What's your thoughts?
My thought, okay, well, I'm going to bring it back to when we were in high school. We wanted the Jordans. The Jordans were, I don't know how much, $125.
Okay. I bought the 1990s myself.
Okay, so $125 back then. That was a long time ago. Yes, 20 years ago. So now we're up to, I thought they were going to be $280 or they're $300, same thing. I think people buy what they want. People spend the money that they want to spend on things. So if parents want their child to have the freshest sneakers or the latest or whatever, they'll buy them. They're $300 is ridiculous price, but people buy what they want.
I guess my only concern is, and I'm not blaming. First of all, let me just make something real clear. I didn't blame Michael Jordan, and I don't blame LeBron James.
Yes,
but I guess my concern is when you have these kids who emulate these players, who will do whatever it takes to rock these kicks that cost $300, or they saying that they're gonna have a less expensive version in a a high $100 range. Do we really want to put out a sneaker that costs $300 when you have somebody like maybe Stephon Marbury who doesn't have the kind of cachet that LeBron and Jordan had? He had like $30 sneakers.
Yes, and nobody really wanted to rock them.
Nobody was rocking them. Now, did nobody rock them because they were Stephon Marbury, or did nobody rock them because they cost $30?
I believe it was more so the price, to be honest.
And that's the thing, because I remember growing up and I see nice pair of sneakers.
Yeah.
But they ain't cost enough.
Yes.
Like I needed to spend more money on them to feel like you was actually doing something. Colin Banks, pick up there. What's your thoughts?
Dude, you know me. I ain't paying nobody for no tennis shoe. Seriously, I can't afford it. I don't want it.
Big Rope?
I think this would be a really good time for LeBron James to step in and be like, Nike, I got to do better than that.
I
agree with that.
I mean, because, first of all,
it's a recession.
Yeah, not even a recession. People kill people for Jordans. Yes. What do you think they're going to do with these LeBrons?
That's true.
I mean, to me, it's just
the same thing they did for just the Manleys.
I mean, but let's just be honest. Ask Warren Ask Warren Sapp how much his shoes are worth. Exactly. He's going through bankruptcy. He's got 2,500 pairs of shoes, and that's his assets.
That's it.
Really?
Trash.
I want to move away from that, and if it sounds like we're rushing, there's a bunch of stuff that I want to get in. The next one, toddler fight club. Daycare staff allegedly told Tykes, quote, "No pinching, only punching." Police in Delaware are investigating after daycare workers allegedly forced toddlers to fight and recorded it on their cell phones. Now, Ree, pick up there.
I saw it. I thought it was just embarrassing to the race, to be honest. And I mean, you send people pay good money to send their children to daycare, and that's not what you're expecting to go on at daycare. Period. In the story, it's wrong.
Ruben,
sue them, put them in jail, and that's as a person, that's just low.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already in jail, so you ain't got to worry about doing that.
No, they
the
ain't
thing
jail
you
for
need to do is protect them from me, and
a long
so
period of time.
You might have to put me in jail.
Yes.
the last story, well, not the last, the next to the last story I want to get into, similarly with the children in Delaware, in the prisons in St. Louis, there are reports of people suing the prisons because they're having fight clubs in the prison, forcing the inmates to fight each other. There are people from outside the prison that are coming in. They're putting money on this. They're trying to see who's going to win, who's not going to win, who's going to lose. They put money on it. Prisons in St. Louis. Ruben, start us off.
Another stupid concept, and I hope the people in charge get put in jail along with the people who are in jail so they can get a piece of what they thought they were doing.
Colin Banks.
Hey, prison's big money, so, more the merrier.
Nari.
Yeah, it's just like equating people to like fighting chickens and dogs. I don't like it.
It's just scary because we talked last week a little bit about how they're testing little children in 3rd and 4th grade when Ruben gave us his tune and lube. And you fast forward that 20 years out, I mean, you've got these young people who are being forced to fight. I mean, that is the epitome of some sort of slavery.
Slavery, yes.
That's the epitome of slavery. They're being forced to fight. What if you've got somebody who maybe they didn't do a violent crime?
Yes.
Maybe they're in there for petty theft or something like that, and now they're being forced to fight someone who's in there for rape or murder, and
who've been fighting all their life.
All their life.
Absolutely.
That's just crazy.
I agree.
Last story I'm gonna get into. I wanted to save a few minutes for this before we got into our rants and our closings. Ruben did his rant on this last week. You had Congressman Todd Akin in Missouri who said that illegitimate, or was it legitimate rape? Legitimate rape should not cause pregnancy because the female body has a way of, quote, shutting that thing down. So, Ruben, I'm going to have you go last because we know that you had your words on this last week. And I didn't have an opportunity to speak on this. But, however, I will let our lady guest speak on this first because I'm very curious to hear what a lady would have to say. Carl, pick up behind her, and then I'll jump in.
I mean, obviously the comments were ridiculous. I mean, I don't know anybody who agreed with it. I don't think any man should be talking about females and rape and things of that nature, period, in the story. But it just sounded very ignorant to me. I honestly didn't go into it too much because once you hear the ignorant statement, it's just like, okay, classification of different rapes and all that. It was just silly to me, so I didn't even really put too much on it. He needs to keep his mouth shut though.
Colin Banks.
Stupid is as stupid does, as the saying goes. So he just messed it up for himself and any type of campaign he wants to have going forward. So
the sad part about it, Big Rube, I'll let you jump in behind me on this one. The sad part about it is the presumptive vice president nominee, Paul Ryan, somewhat agreed, not so much in the incendiary words that he used, but he agreed with regards to abortions that there's no reason that they would allow an abortion, whether it be a rape, whether it be an issue with the pregnancy, whether it be to save the mother's life. Ridiculous. There's no reason that you would allow an abortion. Keep in mind, these are the people that are running for president, and if you are someone that disagrees with that, you might want to consider that when these folks get into the presidency. I'm not one for allowing one issue to cloud my judgment with regards to voting for a person, but If you see a trend that doesn't fit with what your personal beliefs are, then that's something that you can consider. Also consider this: there are over 30 states in our union that allow the rapist to have some sort of visitation with the child. There's no law that would keep you from being able to do that. So keep that in mind. If you are someone who is a victim of rape and there was a baby that came from behind that, the person that raped you could sue you for visitation for that child. And there's no laws that says that they can't. Maybe they go to jail for a little while for the rape, but when they come out, hey, you never know. That is a very scary thing.
My question to that though is this: do you get them for child support? I'm not trying to be devil's advocate.
No. I'm with you. I agree. I absolutely agree. But my question is, if you someone that raped someone and created a child, you probably ain't tripping over child support. You like, all right, they probably pay it just so that you could create some more torment for the person that you've already tormented. I mean, I can't speak to these people's mindset, but I'm just thinking.
Right. I'm
just thinking it through. I mean, it's just
that would have to be awful for the victim.
Absolutely.
And continuing to be a victim.
Absolutely. Now, Big Rube, we know you did your rant on this. I'll let you have the final word on it.
What I found more appalling after last week? The thing I found more appalling, that he stayed in the race. And I feel like he stayed in the race. He apologized. He gave some half crappy apology. But really, you're going to say something so devastating to beliefs. Your personal, well, not your personal beliefs, obviously, but to a complete gender, that you feel like that you still deserve to be a senator. Yeah. I mean, to me, that's more insulting than what he said. And the good thing about it is he's getting crushed. The bad thing about it is, he's still ignorant.
Yes.
Well, what's crazy about that is the fact that a lot of it has to do with the sheer arrogance of assuming that there are people going to still support him. He went on and he apologized for the wording that he used, but he didn't apologize for the sentiment of what he said. So, I mean, I'm not one for apologizing for my feelings. If I feel a certain way, then so be it. I don't think that he should apologize if he said what he meant. That's just my opinion. If you said what you meant, you got to stick behind it. You got to stand behind what you said, Carlton. Yeah. If that's what you feel, no matter how much the rest of us feel that you done lost your damn mind by saying it, if that's how you feel, then you need to stick with it. All right, ain't no half stepping, Marcus J. We're gonna take our final break. Very brief. When we come back, we got our rants, we got our closings, and we're going to leave it there. Ain't no half stepping. Marcus J. Be back in a minute.